Is it the same patient with a CJD?
Exactly.
Yes, we have emergency CJD packages at the hospital. If there's no known medical record, because again, not everyone who works in the hospital is known or suspected CJD patient, it will be hard in a trauma case to actually determine if the person has CJD or not. And if it's not determined, unfortunately, we would treat this patient as a normal person. If this patient leaves the hospital and then the record came back that this patient is a suspected CJD patient, then we have to do our due diligence and track every instrument tray and inform every patient that the tray that was used on that patient was used on. And all the instrument trays that were washed along with that patient tray is now contaminated. Now we have to go back and track every tray. That's why documentation is very important in sterile processing. Everything you put into the autoclave should be documented. Meaning, we have to go back, track the sink that we soak the instrument in, because before we wash instruments in decontamination in the hospital, I have to scan every tray I wash and put in a washer disinfector. Meaning all the trays that I put in the washer disinfector with that load of with the trays that was used on that patient is contaminated. Now I got to track every tray that it came in the case card that it was transported in before I put it into the washer disinfector will be contaminated. So what we're going to be doing for that day, we're going to have to track all the instruments that were used on the day the patient had a procedure. We will track maybe up to the time the trays came back from OR, because it means that everything that came to the decontamination before that patient procedure was done is safer. Everything after the tray was received in the decontamination is not safe. Now, maybe it's a week that's passed, but this is the process. We got to contact every patient and say that we need to test you for CJD because there was a known CJD, a suspected CJD that we discovered a week later, and our instrument was cross-contaminated. That's why it's very important to track all your instruments on the day you process them, scan them. It doesn't take much, just scan it and make sure that it's a complicated thing, but we have to inform the patients that those instruments were used on. And now that requires what the state to jump in there and try to investigate. Does that answer your question, Sandy?
Yes, thank you.
Any other question before we leave for the day?
Is it only the other trays that were contaminated? What about the machines that the trays went through?
Yes, everything will be shut down, and then we're gonna take the steps necessary by the current recommended steps required by the CDC or the WHO to start working backwards. Now is what we're gonna do a root cause analysis. Now going back, it's already too late. There's no proactive plan because this patient was driving by and got T-boned by another car, brought into the hospital, and a spinal procedure had to be done on that person without any prior knowledge. And if there's prior knowledge, it wasn't new, because what is the incubation time of the CJD prion, if anyone remembers? 30 years, right? So maybe that person was on their 15th year with no sign or no information of inflammation in there. So that's why it's very important that when we do these things, we have to record. Record keeping is one of the most important things. We're going to get to that soon, but for now, that's what we need to know. And it's all dependent upon you. When we tell you that record keeping and sterile processing is very important, we mean that it's super important that we keep our records, because our records will be our alibi tomorrow. For example, if that patient had the surgery performed, did we know that the patient was operated on this day? We did not keep a record. How do we go about finding how many trays was sterilized or washed with that tray? We wouldn't know. And then while you put that hospital now, we can't even tell what was used with what. Now we got to wipe out all of the instruments on our shelf, costing us money, because we said that now the Department of Health and Human Services will now require that if a patient is infected with a hospital-acquired infection, we are responsible to now treat that patient. Imagine how many people came in there. Some people went to the doctor office. L&D, women having babies. Maybe we mixed the instrument trays with our labor and delivery trays. Do you know how much cost and how much lawsuit that can come across us just to go identify how many instruments were used with the CJD tray? Again, your only fault as a sterile processing technician is not keeping record. But the next thing to do is just to recall all the trays, contact all the patients that those instruments were used on, and then we'll go forth from there to start mitigating the harm already done. If there's no further question, guys, today was a good class. Please go back, take a look at the chapters that we covered today, read a little bit, and then I'll see you guys on Saturday. I don't think we're having class on this Wednesday. If there's any question, let me know. Susie, you got a question for me?
I think you forgot to send me the recording.
For Wednesday, let me do that. Does anyone else need a recording for Wednesday? I'm just gonna post it in the group chat.
I need that today.
It's alright. I'm not sending it individually. I'll post it in the group chat so you guys can have it. I'm not gonna send it individually. Any other question? If not, we done for the day, and I'll see you guys on Saturday next week. If we will have class on Wednesday, we will decide, but I don't think we need to. I think we're just. Oh, I'm hoping if some of you can have your IDs, we will have a class in person.
Work on that for us because I've done whatever I have to do.
So Catherine just said that she got back, so hopefully Monday. I don't have work on Monday. I'll try to visit the hospital myself and talk to her. And because the last time I had to walk in there to show her the list of students and what we need to do. I'll go there on Monday, and then we can see. Hopefully by Saturday we'll be in person, conducting classes in person. Because I really want to. Now we're done with decontamination. We'll go to prep and pack. At least we can see what we're talking about. See the washer, disinfector, and the testing and stuff that we do on there. All right. Any other question? Eunice, go ahead.
What we have for?
So your microphone is not too good today, though. You were saying? Sorry?
What we have for?
Same instruction for the homework. All the homework is the same instruction. Type out the questions, give the correct answer, and send it as an attached file. Pardon me? If it's what? Make it another style. No, it's the same presentation. You have multiple choice. You have true or false, and as it goes on, I want you to type it out.
Which means it takes time.
I know it does take time, but that's the goal of the homework, for you to actually type out a question and then answer them. And when you take your exam or your quiz, it makes it easier for you because you see similar questions on the quiz on the homework.
Next Saturday, how many chapters we're gonna study?
We're going to do is 3 chapters every day, every Saturday going forward. We had only 2 chapters today because we did one on Wednesday. If you guys want, we can do another chapter on Wednesday. But not everyone is available on Wednesday, and they only have to watch the video over. Yes, I'm listening.
The practice or the quiz, it's both of them.
The quiz is a link that you go to, click on the link, and then do the quiz. The quiz is different. For the book,
you have a practice test.
Yeah.
And you have a quiz. Exactly.
So just do the homework. Not let me. I don't have my. Oh, I have my other book over here. The practice test you should do, yes, in the chapter.
And what about the quiz?
Which quiz? The practice in the workbook. Yeah. Yes, do the practice test and the quiz.
Review quiz.
It is going to get more and more, but keep the review quiz is not the review quiz on the chapters 1 to 3. Only do the review quiz on the chapter itself. Because after every 3 chapters, you see a review quiz that's accumulating over, which will include chapter 1 to the chapter you are at. Don't do that review quiz. Just do the chapter quizzes. If you're on chapter 8 today, just chapter 8 and 9, just do chapter 8 and 9, questions on 8 and 9. Not the total review quiz after 8 and 9 that includes from chapter 1 to 8.
I don't know. I sent mine. I don't know. You can see mine.
Definitely look at it. I'm still waiting on the other guys' homework to come in.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions so far? You guys good? Everybody's good? All right. I'll see you.
7 and 8, 9.
7, 8, and 9. That's correct. I know it doesn't get easier. I know. You guys have a